Are we back? Do we do it?
Oh no.
Well, I mean, we're technically back, but we're still dropping all. We're still dropping literally 60% of the frames. So something's going on with my internet right now, and I don't know what it is.
Oh, that's
I have one more thing I can. Whoa! Hang on. It seems to have fixed itself.
Woohoo!
All right, sure. That's fine. So yeah, we're gonna play some ballroom. We're tied up at 5. Iceman's on the spiral here. We're gonna get this thing started in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And this is another map where you have to pick a mission to knock off. And the mission knocked off this time was Purloin, and I don't like that.
Yeah, don't love it.
Yeah, I think the two missions you almost kind of have to leave in on this map are Transfer Microfilm and Purloin, just because they take so much of the sniper's attention to keep an eye on.
Yeah, it's a tough call. I almost always take microfilm off because it's a balance, right? It does take a lot of attention, but that is incumbent on the sniper thinking there's a decent chance that you're going to do it, and I think everybody knows I'm not going to do it right now, so it needs to be something that you are capable of doing, that you do now and then, and that you have a good chance of completing in addition to taking up a lot of attention. There's definitely some calculus there for sure.
Not the nicest of briefcases, but he was able to pick up a real smooth, sneaky bug off of it.
Yeah, go ahead.
If the briefcase was seen, he definitely would have gotten highlight, maybe even shot for it. But the bug itself is practically invisible.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the smoothest from a spy perspective in terms of results and what was actually visible and what got caught. It might as well have been invisible. Good seduce there too, and he needs it right now because despite that bug, he's still got a little bit of work to do. Now that he's got his hardtail done, you know, it's one of those games where if he plays solid, he should be okay.
Indeed. Once you get the hardtail done, you just have to sit back and make sure you play your game. Don't do anything scary. Just get everything done the way you always would. And the 49% on the flirt is not a problem, because if you get real close and hit the green, you can hit a 51, so you can still get that flirt done at 2.
Yeah, and even if he doesn't, you know, it won't be hard to get 3. He doesn't need to, you know, he's going to be fine. As long as he doesn't dawdle too much. But he got that BB in, so that's big.
That's true.
But with this amount of time, he's almost certainly going to have to go to middle statues at some point. That's a little rough.
Again.
Boy, I don't know. I feel like this is overkill. Maybe he might be worried that he was almost caught for that.
Maybe, and again, not the best of briefcases.
And he is willingly choose to do not just a second hardtail, but arguably the hardest hardtail there is, and in the map in which it's the hardest to get away with.
Nailing the green test on the first transfer, though, and that's the hardest part of this whole mission done right there.
Yeah, it is. Boy, I don't know. Swap and microfilm are two of the hardest missions on Ballroom out of any mission map combination.
But with the meta the way it is now, people have stopped paying as much attention to the microfilm because so few people are doing it. So it's starting to become more viable.
Yeah, and he gets away with the first half pretty quick there. Ooh, rough entry there. Quick turn, looked a little weird.
And 30 seconds left to play. He's going to need to find one more mission, and it might just be this final piece of the microfilm transfer here.
Oh boy.
He does have cover, especially with Toby right there. This is brilliant. If he can go for it right there, hits the green test on it, and there's no way that's getting caught.
Oh, slip Toby a 5. That was collusion. That was ridiculous.
Oh man. Toby the waiter.
Brown Dress might have pictures of Toby. Get that kind of help out of him. That was incredibly well. I mean, it was like he was controlling Toby. He came over exactly then. Boy, and just when he needed it with 20 seconds left, that is insane. Still visible though. But I don't think. Here's the thing. I don't think he was looking. I think he might have been looking at the tray. He might have. I don't know if he remembered that the mission was off. We've seen a couple small indications tonight that he might have not always been fully aware of that. It can be hard to catch sometimes. Boy, that's tough.
But, like, Toby being there combined with the green test, there's almost no way you're going to notice that.
You'd have to be waiting for it specifically. You'd have to have brown dress on your radar. You'd have to be waiting for it late in the game, and boy, that's a bit of bad luck there.
Indeed. So Iceman picking up a lead for the first time tonight. Let's see if he can keep going as he steps in the sniper role with Checker on the spy on any 4 of 6 ballroom. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Dex has got to stop this bleeding.
Indeed. Iceman just has so much momentum now. Checker has to find a way to shut him down.
He's hit an artery.
Does pick up a really quick 39% flirt off the top and opts to knock off Inspect. That's strange. There are going to be a lot fewer highlights going around in this game if Iceman is paying attention to the mission, which means the highlights that do come off are going to be a lot bigger, but the white purloin coming out, that's really scary. But Toby's tray is not very visible at this point in time.
Yeah, still has not seen it. If he can gulp it quickly, he'll be fine.
And Purple Dress takes a drink too, so he's not going to know at this point.
Yeah, he was not looking when it faded. He's already gulped the drink. He's at the bookshelves. He's clean.
He's not at the bookshelves.
I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong angle. Yes, he's totally clean from that purloin. There was no indication.
Absolutely.
Not zooming in the aftermath. Interesting choice. I understand that people can spend way too much time looking at it, but you do have to look at it in between, I think.
Agreed. Able to pick up a nice green flirt as well. He's up to 73% now. One more flirt will finish that up.
Yeah, good progress on the flirts. Until already done. The only thing is, ideally, if you can avoid middle statues, you can go twice. If you space it out time-wise, you might be okay, but that's really the only consideration at this point if you avoid pathing errors.
Indeed. They're picking out and taking away a blue book. So, might be looking to get a transfer.
Now, I like this. I like the idea of using the book break up seduces.
Indeed.
It's a good way, especially if you happen to have turned microfilm off. It's a way to even get rid of a little suspicion. Flirt, you walk over to the bookshelf, you get a book, you come back, you flirt, put the book back, you maybe get a little less suspicion, and you get your flirts done, and you break them up. I really like it. In this case, it's on anyway, but still, it's a good way to just not make the flirts as obvious.
And considering how far that laser's on the other side of the map during that whole book grab, he might even be able to walk us over the green bookcase.
Yeah, decent chance, for sure. And I think that's what he's thinking. The fact that he has not put it back yet makes me think that he wants to do just that.
That's true. 1 minute left to play, so he almost has to at this point. He's slow on time.
Yeah, it looks like he was thinking about BBing and then BB into the book. A lot of people like to do that, but the DA bails on it.
Very unfortunate there. 45 seconds left to play. You gotta move now, and that's exactly what he's doing. Going right over to the green bookcase. This could be big. If he gets noticed here, that's a shot. Looks like it might be.
Oh, his laser's right on him. He's thinking about it.
Oh, he's... no, it looks like he was able to get away with that clean.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Ooh,
does pick up a highlight.
For the watch check, I think. Maybe. It's hard to tell.
He's getting ready for the BB. This is going to be very scary with all that heat on him.
In the end of red.
Uh-oh.
There's the BB coming off. I think he's running. He's running.
Making a
Run!
run for it.
No! Didn't get away. And Iceman.
Two things. I don't think you run there. I don't think it's as bad as you think it is. It almost never is.
Yeah.
And frankly, by the way, if it is that bad, the running's not going to save you. So I think you stay put. If you're going to run...
Unless you're Slappy Davis.
Unless you are. But you know what? Even Slappy can't dance for 10 seconds. Look what he does. He tries to start moving around with 10 seconds left. You can do it with a couple of seconds. You hang out there. If he's thinking about the shot, you move after 6 or 7. You don't move immediately. That's not going to save you. It's plenty of time. You can't dance your way out of it. There's a time and a place for it, maybe, with the moving. I like to move with 1 or 2 seconds left if I think they might shoot. But that's about it. You can't do it for 10. I think in that case, he might have given the game away.
Maybe. But in that case...
He played pretty well.
Iceman got... That's what? 6 games in a row now? He's got so much momentum behind him.
Yeah, that's really brutal. He was in really good shape there. Chex was playing pretty well too, but I gotta say, even though he's having less luck now, he's still playing aggressively and he's still playing pretty well. He's just not getting those marginal things, and he's just making like little mistakes that happen to snowball. I think right there, for example, is a good example of one different choice, and he probably wins. Really interesting that he gets highlight for the watch check, by the way. I'm not sure what that was about, but it might have been a delayed
convinced it was for the watch check, actually, because he was like if you'll notice, ever since he put that book back, that laser was just following him the entire time. I think he was trying to figure out where that book came from and couldn't remember.
Just pondering it, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's really interesting.
Yep. But that's the map rotation right there. Iceman comes out of the first half with 2 games up and a lot of momentum behind him. Let's see if Checker can shut him down as we step into the balcony once more with Iceman on the spy, Checker on the sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Pretty low-key game so far. Just a normal little flirt. Didn't reach that that all-important 32% that he needs though. So that's gonna be rough.
True.
Gonna need a green in there.
Very good restraint, by the way, with the ambassador there.
Yes.
He really wants to get bugged though. Now he's in a much better position for it.
Oh boy.
White test on the banana bread is a problem though, and not able to get the bug off before ambassador steps away.
Gave away a low light and could have given away 2, given how quickly the BB went off after Revolta entered. So a little lucky that he only gave away 1 there.
I don't really like the timing on the BB. Like, even if he had hit the green test, that would have been pretty bad as well. Able to get a window flirt maybe here. He's at 62%. This could finish it up, and it does indeed. That's going to be the game. It's so hard to shoot for a window flirt, too. I don't think he's going to be able to.
Yeah. Oh, just to rub it in. Crash pugs the Amba at the very end. I did watch a couple of these games in advance. I saw this one in particular, and just for a little background, Chex was almost positive it was him the entire time, and he was just waiting for him to do something like flirt, but it didn't occur to him at the time that he could have been window flirting.
Okay.
If he'd been in, and I remember feeling really bad because that's something like 2 or 3 different games where he actually had a really good read on the game, but then just made one little error, and in this case just briefly forgetting that it could have been a window flirt, and so he was waiting for him to come back in and talk before he shot him. And that ended up costing him, you know. Yeah. It's just a lapse. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. But another thing I want to say though is I'm like, despite the fact that I lost him that game, I do really like that from Checker because so many games are lost by shooting early, and if you know, from what you've seen, that the spy can't be done, you have no reason to shoot him unless you saw his arm fly out or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a really that's a good habit in general. You're right. It requires that you have a very good sense of what's even possible for getting it done. Yeah. So it definitely you can't have that kind of lapse. But in general, I like that he's getting to that point where he's thinking,
I agree.
Look, just because I think something doesn't mean I have to shoot. I shoot if I don't. If I have to, you know, and not before. Yeah.
This game is all about, as Checker puts it, consequential decisions with partial information. Sometimes before you take that shot, you want to maximize the information you have while minimizing the danger.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to tunnel on someone, that might be okay if you're almost certain you saw something, but give yourself that chance to see something out of the corner of your eye while you're monitoring them, and shoot at the first possible moment where they could be done. And if you remember the window thing, that would have worked fine, just happened to forget this time.
Absolutely. But Checker might be able to pull that back on the spiral. Let's see what he can do as he steps onto balcony himself. In 3, 2, 1,
he's really got to do something. Not playing that much worse. In theory, he could just play about as well as he has. Just like 2% better would make all the difference in several of these games.
Pick up a very nice first flirt. The positioning dropped him at 48% range, which is a little bit unfortunate, but he can do... Oh, that is so mean!
Oh boy. Leaves right then, gets a couple different lowlights, and now he is one of just 4 possible suspects.
That would have been a 1 lowlight banana bread, which is not ideal, certainly not, but it's still very doable. But
make that 3.
Then then the double agent bailed on him, and there's nothing you can do about that.
Try to bug too, and the DA and the ambassador leaves just then. Boy, that's brutal. He's just missing on all these.
Picking up a white test on the next flirt. He's at 82%. One more flirt from, I think 17% is the worst you can get. So it's literally, if it's not the worst flirt physically possible,
in the end of red.
It's going to be done in 1-1. There's the actual BB coming off.
Any flirting better than hey, do you come here often should do it. Ooh, thinks about
very close to getting white jacket shot there. But it looks like Iceman decides to hold off for a bit, which could save him. 30 seconds left to play. Checker has to step out of conversation here.
Yeah, this is the moment of truth. You have to make that decision. Do you think they might leave, yes or no? You have to decide.
I think you've got to move. 20 seconds left to play. You don't have time to hang around anymore.
It's rough.
Oh, but he does step out.
He obliges.
No! Don't go for the window flirt. I don't think that's a good idea. You're there late. What are you doing?
Oh, he was briefcasing anyway.
No! Oh, God.
Boy.
No.
Wow. Well, there you have it, right? Not noticing window flirt costs him in one game, then the other player noticing it costs him the next. Right on the margins.
Oh, no.
Although, as it turns out, the fact that he was going for briefcase, I don't know if he was going to get back in time. That would have been very close. It definitely would have gone into overtime.
Yeah.
And if you're talking during overtime on balcony, you're probably dead.
Yeah. 9-5 right now is the scoreline. Iceman just... He's on an 8-win streak now. He's got so much momentum behind him. Checker must be feeling a little bit discouraged by this point. He's just got to find a win or two, and suddenly he's right back in things. But right now, he's just having a really hard time of things.
Yeah, and it's almost harder when it's not just your fault. If you're playing badly, you have a pretty good idea. I got to bear down, I got to focus, I got to avoid these kinds of mistakes, I got to slow down, etc. But when you're playing pretty well and losing on small mistakes here and there and happenstance and things like that, it's really hard to tell yourself, "Hey, just keep doing what you're doing." It doesn't.
Yeah,
it's not a very compelling thing to think when nothing's working. But in theory, if he plays about this well, he should win about half the games.
Yeah, that's very true. Now, we've been going for about an hour now. Are you down to finish up this set?
You know I am. Whatever you want to do.
All right, cool. So we'll keep it going until we have a victor.
Yes, until victor is declared.
Yeah, things aren't looking too good for Checker. He really does have to start picking up some games right now, or else he might not get another chance considering how much momentum Iceman has. Let's see if he can do it here as we step into Courtyard 2 with Iceman on the spy and Checker on the sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Bails on the statues. I actually like that.
I do, mainly because it wasn't visible. Unless he was looking very closely, he wouldn't have noticed the abrupt change. You have to be careful with those sudden changes in direction early on. I, in particular, love sniping.
In the end of red.
I think that's a really fun way to catch someone, actually. Ooh, fake.
Interestingly enough, fake BB coming off the top of things, followed by a 25% flirt. And that was a green 25% flirt, so that should tell you something.
Yeah, that was rough. I think he only got maybe one low light off that BB. I gotta say, I think if you can fake and only give away one low light, that's actually usually gonna be a win, because the fakes will still throw the snipers off, because fakes are still kind of rare.
I agree. It's all about finding a good time for it.
Although I gotta say, I think you generally want to do it with some kind of aim. You want to distract from something, you want to bring their attention somewhere, you maybe want to frame someone. He wasn't doing any of that. I'm not sure what caused it. It might have been a misclick, frankly, because there was no ulterior motive that I could see. He wasn't doing it during a purloin.
I really like the attempt for the window flirt there. The second turkey just left a little bit early, but I do very much like that.
Yeah, but if you get there more than a second after they do, you are really taking a chance that they're not going to be there anymore. It's very risky.
He didn't, though. Like, he got there, like, maybe a third to a half a second after.
Yeah, just bum luck then.
Indeed. Picking up the green purloin. That did not last long at all.
Yeah, but Chex was rotating while it happened, and he notices it after a full rotation. And as far as I can tell, Snap's not on the radar at all for him.
Indeed. The things wound up working out. It wasn't much of a purloin chain, but it didn't have to be.
Well, if he's in the next conversation, he doesn't see him leave, that could be enough.
That's true.
Now, I like this move. This is fairly advanced, I think, for someone with this many games. It looks less suspicious if your statue's with someone else because it looks like you can't finish your inspects. But if you go when they're halfway through, you have just enough time. Ooh, cuts the animation very slightly.
He did swap though.
Oh boy. Let's see if he sees it.
He does see it. Ouch.
Excellent. Great job. He did cut the animation there too.
Yeah.
A little harder to notice, but ever so slightly. You have that brutal moment where they do the statue cycle where they don't actually move. So you have to judge whether or not you're going to put it back, and if you get unlucky, you'll do it just at the start of a new animation, which he did. It was ever so slight, but it was the swap that got him, yeah.
And that win is going to be a huge help for Checker, because even though he's still probably feeling not so great about how things are going right now, because that's his first win in a while. But at least he was able to pick up that win.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah. If he can get the full set here, that's going to set him right back in things again. If he can pick up this next one, that's going to be enormous.
Boy, yeah, very big win for him. And I don't know if you like the idea of doing a white swap, anything other than very early, because you think you're not going to be seen, or as the last mission. Doing it as the third mission like that, pretty risky.
Indeed. One thing to keep in mind, though, is you can't just decide you're going to get a green test. There is that, oh crap, I missed it moment. But, again, I don't really like going for the swap there unless it's the last mission.
Mm-hmm. I agree in that context. I think you might be right, though, about him expecting a green. I definitely, to my own shame, sometimes go for the swap counting on the green. And maybe that can work if you hit greens with regularity, but otherwise, big risk.
Yeah. Alright, let's see what Checker can do as he steps into the spiral on Courtyard 2. I believe that's the last time we're hitting this map, unless we find overtime or something like that. So we'll see what happens here on Courtyard in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Boy, it would really be something if he could reel off a second straight win.
Absolutely.
Help him out a lot.
Checker on the spy, Iceman on the sniper. See how this goes. Checker starting things out nice and slow. A little bit of a weird path against red tie there, but not too bad.
Yeah. Iceman's still kind of going around low lighting cast, so it looks like he was a little distracted.
Banana bread.
Checker grabbing the early green time ad into the banana bread, so that green time ad is not getting caught anytime soon, and Checker's got the time he needs to play the game he's used to playing.
Yeah. Yeah, I really admire that he sort of picked up on that, and he's been exploiting it.
We'll pick up a quick 33% in the flirt there.
Uh-oh. Can't
What
resist that bug.
Oh, that could be bad, but it doesn't look like Iceman noticed. Okay!
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what he thought he saw. Apparently, he definitely didn't see that bug.
Yeah.
Oh, Orange Dress did a watch check. And he must have noticed the time dilation shortly after. That will happen a lot. Someone will do a time ad, right? A green time ad. Someone else will check their watch, and you notice the second watch check, and that's when you start counting. And if you count then, you will say, aha, that's it. And it's very hard to tell that you just noticed late, because you didn't look until you saw the next watch check.
Yeah.
So Orange Dress does him a big favor there.
Yeah, that was...
Orange Dress giveth and Orange Dress taketh away. She got him in big trouble earlier, and now she gave him a game.
Indeed. Oh, man. So, I'm going to be honest, though, a win like that doesn't feel great as a spy. It feels like you just kind of got off lucky there. So... Yeah.
Especially considering he was trying that drive-by bug and totally whiffed on it.
It's not going to help a whole lot for Checker's momentum, but it is going to keep shutting down Iceman's.
Yes, and just every win counts at this point, so big deal.
Absolutely. He's only down by 2 now. If he can pick up one more set, he's right back in tie game position. Let's see if Iceman can stop that from happening as we step into the Panopticon once more. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Starting things out with a very awkward bug attempt, but Sniper wasn't even looking anywhere close, so...
Yeah, totally hit.
Didn't take, but didn't get a highlight for it either. He steps in the middle statues right off the top, which again I'm not too big a fan of, but it looks like Checker's not highlighting for it.
Yeah, and they don't have any specifically any specific highlighting strategy either of them. They're not highlighting for statues or anything consistent. They're just sort of doing it for anything they find suspicious anyway. So
I saw what looked like it could have been a fake highlight from Checker, but I don't think he does that.
No, probably not. I think it's just he happens to be looking at something, and it probably looks like he's holding his laser there deliberately, but it's incidental. Iceman
did a odd little 180 though, but that's the kind of thing that can get you low lit when it doesn't look like there's any reason to it. You just randomly 180 out of nowhere. Able to pick up a quick 34% off of it as well. The flirt. 2 minutes and 50 left to play.
Still plenty of time. Decent progress so far. He's already got a statue visit out of the way. That can be nice.
Stepping back to statues, though, to pick up this flirt.
I like it. It's the flirt. Well, I don't like flirting before picking a statue, especially when you're already done with the statues, so there's no reason to hurry up and get it done before.
Well, it was safe there because the laser was on the other end of the map. You can do whatever you want.
But it could come over at any second. I hate the flirt before the statues, honestly, but I do like going back to statues, actually, in that case. I feel like going to center statues twice is actually a bit of a potential anti-tell.
Especially when you know who's looking at you for the first time with that laser movement.
Yes, so I don't think there's a whole lot of risk there.
Agreed. Oh god, the rat test on the Purloin! Flashy guest list alert, flashy guest list alert!
Boy.
He sees it too!
Does he see it? Does he see it?
Yeah, there's the highlight! Oh, he doesn't shoot though. Oh, there's the shot.
He's thinking about the shot.
Yeah.
There we go. Wow.
And Checker's within one now, and now he's feeling it. Now he's really back into things and ready to roll.
Yeah, he's catching this stuff. Honestly, the flash is not as obvious as you'd think. It's not that much more worse than a white, especially on this map with the leaves in the way, where it's so hard to see. But the gulp, actually, I think it would have just highlight and it made him a very strong suspect. But if he doesn't gulp there, I think he eventually hangs out for 40 more seconds and kind of just fades into the rest of the highlights at that point. But
I think so.
A gulp makes sense if you think they might not see it at all. But after a red test, when the laser's near you, you do assume you probably can't gulp. That's probably just the confirmation.
Indeed. But yeah, Checker, good eyes there and good logic as well. Able to pick up a nice solid sniper win on that. And he really is feeling good about this as he steps into the spy role on Panopticon. Let's see how things go here in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And again,
spies can't lose.
Checker has a chance to tie things up right here and now.
He did this last time too, by the way. Went right to the bookshelf on the other side on Panop last time.
I don't know about going to that side of the conversation though. I would have probably ran the other way with that book.
Yeah, you go the other way and you get in a flirt and maybe hide behind the pillar while you're at it, which is very valuable when you've just grabbed the book. But it's interesting that he's kind of starting off the same way he did last time, because he had such success, I guess, last time.
Yeah, figured it worked for him once, why not do it again? I really like the variants you get on these ladder matches. They're a lot of fun to cast. And a lot of fun to watch, too, as he picks up his first 25% of the flirt.
Yeah, it's a nice test of a lot of different skills. You definitely lose something when you don't play the same match a bunch of times. That has its own advantages, and I really enjoy it. But so does this, and I dig it.
Indeed. Third person at the bookcase picks up a highlight for it, so
I'll tell you what
good logic there from Iceman.
Just total right angle turn, just straight into the bookshelf. Didn't ease into it, wasn't a straight path, was not an AI-like path at all. Totally visible, and third person, that's pretty bad.
Indeed.
You gotta avoid that. That is the first piece of advice you give most new spies. You say, decide where you're going to go before you go there, and because if you don't, that is exactly what happens. Is you make very sudden turns, and the sudden turns draw more attention to you. And when you're about to put the book on the wrong bookshelf, the last thing you want to be doing is drawing attention to yourself with path.
Absolutely, but Checker really going ham for these flirts, picking up a white purloin there, which is really scary.
Trying to get it out of there.
Looks like he gets nailed on the white purloin.
Does not work. I gotta say, I still like the aggression. He's really keeping it up. He just gotta do it a little bit better. I think if he waits on the book, he doesn't get highlight, and if he doesn't get highlight, he might not get shot for that purloin.
Yeah. The aggression I really like. The execution left a little bit to be desired, but Checker had the right mindset there, and he was doing things in quite decently.
Yeah, and one of the arguments for the aggression is that it gets you shot, and you learn how to do the aggression well. It's self-correcting.
Yeah, that's true.
It tightens that feedback loop, right? So I actually think that even though you're right, the aggression's good, the execution's a little wanting, well, that's how it starts. And if you just keep being aggressive, you get better at it.
Yeah, and I think something a little bit weird happened here in the gallery, because for some reason, it's any 5 of 6 gallery.
I did find out about this too. A simple mistake, apparently. He just thought the meta was 5 of 6, and someone whispers to them about it mid-game, so they Checker honors it, and they both play 5 of 6.
Ah, I see.
So, there you go.
That's a nice little story there.
Pretty funny, yeah.
Indeed.
But you know, they do say that, you know, obviously the rules of the ladder, that if both people agree, you can do pretty much whatever they want.
That's true.
So the fact that they both agreed to it, that's reason enough.
Yeah.
Even if it was a mistake.
That is very true.
Be hard for spies
so we're going to be expecting some sniper wins here. And in this case, not going to work in Checker's favor.
Yes.
Not going to work in Checker's favor at all, because he is down a set. The score is 8-10. Assuming this goes the way we assume it will, it's going to be 9-11, which means Checker's going to need 4, and Iceman will only need 2.
Although still, I like that it's close again after falling behind, losing 9 of 10 games. It's a counter comeback, if you will.
That's true. That's very true. So Checker, in a little bit of an uncomfortable position here, score-wise, but definitely doable for the rest of the comeback here. Let's see if he can pull it off as we step into the sniper role on the gallery with Iceman on the spy in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Big jumble initial on gallery, like there usually is. You get that a lot.
Indeed.
Like Panop.
Oh, I cannot believe that bug took!
Yep. Wrong arm bug. The end of the animation was visible, pretty visible actually, but there was, as usual, just a lot going on, and I don't think it was noticed at all.
Iceman getting a boon at the start of this might wind up being pretty big here, as he takes out a blue book and has a weird path in this conversation with the double agent.
Does not make that tight turn well enough, hides with the DA, but just not seen. There's been a lot of you know, moderate spy errors, but the snipers are not catching them.
I think we're too used to watching the really, really high-end snipers.
Yeah, where a collision like that is death over half the time, or significantly more often. But that's one of the things that makes these games interesting, is that there's a margin for error as spy.
Microfilm comes off really cleanly.
Bug and microfilm done, and he's not even really a suspect. That's huge.
Absolutely. With 2 hardtails done at this point, he can pretty much just sit back and play the standard soft-tail time management game and be comfortable with it.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard for Checks to shoot, and on any 5 of 6, a win would be huge.
Absolutely. You can't afford to knock off any soft tails on 5 of 6. You really can't.
Sort of a sharp turn there.
And he didn't. The one he knocked off was, in fact, Pro-1.
I don't know if Checker's going to be knocking off Purloin when his turn comes. He likes it a little too much, maybe. But maybe that's the point. It's like self-binding, you know? It's like if you're going on a diet, throw out all the bad food so it's not even in the house.
Yeah. Very good position for a double agent here. And he does pick that up. I like the patience on that. It can
a lot of
be
potential lowlights here, though.
Yeah. But the reason I like it is because of how many people were outside of conversation earlier. If he'd done it any sooner than that, it would have been even worse. And honestly, at that point, I feel like if you don't go for it there's a good chance it's going to bail on you and you're just not going to get it done.
And that happens more in Gallery than other maps where the DA will bail on you. By the way, Checks, I should point out, assuming it's a fake and low-lighting several people in the front conversation for it. And assuming correctly, as it turns out.
You mean assuming it's real, because there weren't any...
I'm sorry, yes, assuming it wasn't a fake, yes. And, you know, good call there. He missed a couple other lowlights, but he actually got a pretty high percentage all in all because he made that assumption.
Not bad briefcase there. Gets the movement cancel on it as he picks up his last flirt and goes for the swap as well. Putting this down here, I would have liked him to hold on to this a little bit longer. He gets it revealed for a moment there. But Checker isn't paying enough attention to get the shot off, and Iceman with a big win on the difficult game type.
Boy, when somebody goes to our second statue visit gallery with their back to you, blocking the statue with 40 seconds left, you have to be at least waiting to see that statue the second it's visible again. I know that's rough because a lot else can happen, but at that point you really have to. That is the prime swap position.
Indeed.
Boy, 5 of 6, what a win.
Yeah, absolutely. And Iceman almost threw it away there at the end by putting the statue down so early. Like, even if it means going into a third cycle, I'd stay there for it.
Yeah, or it's definitely tricky to know exactly when to do that because some people will shoot if you leave, if you stand there too long. But in that case, I think he definitely could have stayed longer, at least a second or two more.
Indeed.
He gave Chex plenty of time to notice and shoot, but he didn't.
Yeah. So suddenly, Checker's in a really bad spot. He's down by 3, 8 to 11 is the current scoreline, and he's gonna need to find something pretty soon.
And on this spy mode, that's really hard.
Indeed. If he doesn't win this game, he has to find 5 back-to-back. He needs this. This is going to be a huge game for Checker. And it's not at all an easy game type to do.
Yeah. This is rough. He needs this.
We'll see when he's able to get here. He really does need this win. We'll see if he's able to get it in 3, 2, 1, play it. And Checker this time takes off.
Ooh, boy.
Takes off the banana bread.
He does. And, boy, he's going to need to do 3 hard tells then. And little collision problem in the beginning, but again, not usually visible early on.
Actually committing to 3 of the hard tells. I really don't like that call. I really don't.
But you still gotta admire it on some level. That's a pretty cutscene.
White purloin coming off the top. Not the best of starts, but Toby stepping away, as does Checker. So I think he was able to get that purloin off quite cleanly.
Yeah, he gulps the statues, but I'm not seeing any indication that he's in trouble, and he's just making good forward progress here with the inspect.
Indeed.
I'll see if he can get this off. Oh boy.
Yes, he was just barely able to get that first inspect.
It's not a huge deal because you got to go twice anyway, but you like to see it.
Just a little bit of safety. Goes into a third cycle here because of the red test on the second inspect, but not too big of a problem.
Yeah, not noticed. Leaves a little quick, and I will say that's something Chex has definitely been doing. He picks up the statue a little quick, he leaves a little quick. It hasn't bit him yet, but as he moves his way up the ladder, it's going to start getting him more.
Absolutely. Getting the green time ad, though, as he steps in for his first flirt, that could be quite big. Only the 29% on the flirt, though, so he's going to need to find a green if he wants to 3-flirt it.
With 5 missions, it's definitely big.
Indeed. Oh, that was that weird double hurt
he
my
sort of
ears.
air hockeyed off the edge there, didn't he? Sort of pinballed.
Yeah, and the collision with Brimsworth there as well. The bounce wasn't too bad, but it could have been better.
Playing bumper spy a little bit.
Stepping in for his last inspect. He can get that off without a hitch. Not even highlight yet, so he's doing all right. 2 missions done with a flirt with 2 minutes and 10 left to play. He's doing all right time-wise.
I need 2 more hard tells, though. That is one thing though about the
missed the conversation.
That gets some
highlight. Picked up the highlight for it. That was really bad.
We're seeing this all night from both spies. We're seeing that trouble with that tight urn around the circle of conversations. When they try to sneak in next to someone, they're missing that a lot, both of them.
Indeed.
You really got to practice that. Yeah.
And even, like, just wait until you see that circle light up before you stop moving. You're going to wind up a little bit close to the center, but it's better than missing it entirely.
Yeah, you want to err on the side of walking a little too much rather than too little.
Indeed.
And if you miss it, you know what? It's just a conversation search. You can hang out for a few seconds and then leave. It's better than twitching forward.
Again, not the best entry to the conversation, though, but does hit the green there, so he's on 74% on the float.
Yeah.
So one
not
more
very
to finish
visible.
that up.
Oh, he did it again with the bounce off the wall.
Oh, man. Looks like he's going for the loop float, though. He really wants to get this done here and now, which is good considering how little time he has left.
Iceman
with
not
that
seeing
time
it.
ahead. 3 missions
One
done
thing
at
about
this point.
one thing about
1 minute left to
time,
play.
he picked 3 hardtails, but hardtails in general you can do a lot quicker than softails. You know, it's the inspects that take a while and the flirt that takes a while. So even though 3 hardtails is tough, with his time management, the time stuff is not nearly as important when you got to do those hardtails anyway.
Yeah, and Checker, even with his time management issues, I feel like he's moving at a good clip. He just has so many missions to do.
Well, he's got 30 seconds left and he needs 2 hardtails. He's gonna have to really rush it here.
I don't know why he stopped at that painting so long. He can't afford that. Now he's going to the statues.
Oh boy. And I don't know if you can afford doing the swap first because you want to do that last.
Really
that's
don't
the more
think
visible.
Swap.
You want to do that last. You want to do the bug or something first.
I think this is a shot. I really do.
Oh boy. Is he paying attention? There's the statue. You can see it. He's not doing anything. He's running towards the ambassador.
There's the bug. It wasn't a good bug, but it's gonna be overtime. And did he see it or did he not? Looks like he didn't. And I accidentally face cammed right at the end as I was trying to switch to sniper cam.
Wow. Shoots the wrong person. Apparently was not onto white danger at all because several seconds passed. The swap had gone off. He bugged and he didn't see any of it. Didn't have to dance. Didn't have to do anything. He was really just flailing about at that point. And I don't mean that as an insult. What I mean is he clearly did not have a top suspect at that point. And, you know, it's interesting. I think this is not always plausible in all games, but I'll tell you, I definitely try to ask to myself, when there's 30 seconds left, if nothing else happens, who do I shoot?
Yeah.
If nothing else happens and it goes into overtime, and I don't see why it's in overtime, who am I going to shoot? I'm going to shoot anyone at statues. I'm going to shoot anyone who's just put a book away. And barring that, though, you need to know who your top suspect is going in.
Indeed.
Although, because in that case, otherwise you just shoot a random highlight, and it ended up being her.
Yeah.
What a win. What a big clutch win.
Yeah, but despite the rather unfortunate bug at the end there, like he was able to get it off, which is big, but it was a bit of a crash bug. But
yeah,
even so,
under the circumstances, though, it could have been a lot worse.
What a huge win for Checker, though.
Yeah, that was massive. They both win as spy on any 5 of 6.
I don't
know if that's an incredible testament to their skill as spies or a sad statement on their skill as snipers, but either way, it was very interesting, and I like the boldness.
Indeed. We'll see how things continue on moving forward. Checker down by 2. Needs to win 4 games before Iceman wins 2. Definitely doable. Not
doable,
easy.
Very doable. He did it before. He won the first 4 games of the set. I think he's definitely in it.
Very true. We'll see if he can keep things going here as he steps into the sniper role on the veranda. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Iceman on the spy here. Starting things out under AI control, which was a good idea considering how much traffic was in the middle there.
Yeah, although I will say there was more reason than usual to take control because he sees the DA and a seduction target right in front of him there. You'd love to get an early flirt off.
Not the real DA, though.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. But yeah, an early flirt. Most people like to do early flirts on maps like this if they can help it, and he gets it off.
And a nice close green for 51% as well. That's a beautiful
really nice.
early flirt.
Yeah, good start. You're gonna go for by the window.
Stepping in for a window. I think that was supposed to be a flirt, but it was a green time ad.
Priorities strike again. There's no way that was deliberate.
Well, I mean, sure, we'll take it. Why not?
Why not? The green time ads have been working all night anyway. Even the accidental green time ads work.
Yeah, green time ad actually won Checker a game. Oh god, oh god, oh wait, never mind, he's briefcasing. I thought he just failed horribly.
Oh.
You actually want to put the briefcase right down there. You didn't want to move
Yes, you
there.
do. Yeah, that wasn't the correct way to. That is not how you briefcase. But it looks pretty incognito anyway, and he's going to get away with the microphone clean.
Indeed, very clean microphone. Checker didn't notice any of it.
A staggering lack of highlights from both snipers in most of these games. I know that it's not necessarily. Maybe it's not a great idea to highlight for statues all the time. But there's a reason people do it, and I think until you maybe have reached certain levels of other observation, it's a good guideline. It's a safe way to keep a decent pool of suspects. And right now it's been kind of haphazard, and I think it's really hurt both of them.
I really like the idea to just stay here in conversation with this double agent. I really do like it.
It's an unconventional BB, but if you're going to do it, yeah, go all the way with it.
Yeah.
Just kind of own it. It's like the white purloin where you don't leave afterwards,
Yeah. Like, what? No, I didn't purloin that. I was agreeing.
If I'd purloined, I'd leave, wouldn't I? No, it'd be crazy to just stand here after a purloin. Who would do that?
Able to pick up a nice... Another flirt at the bookcase, which I really like.
I do, although he's been at all 3 bookshelves now. I don't think it's registering, but if it had, that's a bit of a risk. Ooh, swaps.
That is really dangerous, because that's the statue that is most likely to get swapped. It's that particular statue.
Check's thinking about it. He highlights him after
gets the highlight.
He's, I don't know if he's sure about that. He's thinking about it. He's like, Is that his first highlight of the game? Yeah, first highlight of the game.
Wow.
Again, they don't have to necessarily highlight for statues, but I think it needs to be a little more systematic than it's being right now. And if you're not able to get a handful of highlights by this point in the game with whatever you're doing to highlight, then I think you need to consider something else, because there's going to be a few suspicious things.
Yeah. So,
like, for
Iceman
example, maybe paying a lot more
finishing up
attention
his
to the
flirt there. So he's finished up his flirt at this point, but I don't think he can afford to go to another statue. I think he's going to have to find some other way to finish this up.
Yeah, he's the only highlight, and Chex was really, I mean, the way the cam lingered there, you could tell he's just thinking, okay, I'm pretty sure that was different, and he's probably waiting for him to do something. Like maybe purloin right here, there's the waiter nearby. Maybe. Chex is hanging around. I think he's waiting for him to do it.
He gets offered a drink.
Look at that fake bait. Off to the left, does not take it, but from Checker's
but gets caught on the way out of the conversation.
Oh boy. Or from Checker's perspective, that might have been a green purloin. See, because he zoomed in, and no purloin, but he was expecting it. He was totally on top of that. As soon as he saw the next drink take, he was waiting as if that were a green purloin.
Gets stuck on Yellow Jacket there, and he is going to go to statues to try to finish up, and just takes a shot for it.
Yeah. That zoom in on the tray after the reject shows that he was just tunneled on top hat anyway.
Yeah.
That proves it. So good job catching the swap. A strange choice on the swap too.
Yeah. And suddenly, Checker only a single game down.
Yeah, just what a seesaw match this has been.
Absolutely. This is
wild.
This is going to be quite the finish. As Checker steps into the spiral on Veranda, we'll see what he can do here in 3, 2, 1, playing it, and might be able to tie things up right here and now.
Takes control
Not
in
the
traffic.
best movement on the start there, because he stopped in conversation for a second, but...
Just like Checker, Iceman going off to the right, memorizing all the statues, giving the spy a few free seconds to do whatever.
Indeed. And Checker kind of needed those, because the pathing was a problem.
Yeah.
Starting things off at statues for the inspect. Starting things off at white statues, front statues, I don't necessarily mind if your opponent hasn't been highlighting for statues. But he does pick up the highlight for that, and suddenly this is going to be a difficult game for Checker to pull off.
Well, what's funny about that is he hasn't been highlighting for statues. He did this time. But neither of them have, really. So, kind of bum luck in that sense. It's not been something they've been doing, and he makes maybe a decision based on it, and then he kind of just decides to start doing it. I think it's a good choice, though, particularly on the red in this context.
Mana Bread comes off. There are a lot of people that could have been low-lit there, but...
Yeah, 3 or 4 at least. I think he got 2. Yeah. He didn't see Blue Dress at all. She was right in front of him.
Yeah. So, could have been worse, but definitely not the Banana Bread he wanted.
To the contrary, he highlights her for going to the shelf and then marks her right back down.
He was thinking about it. Decided not. Oh god, that's a bad path. Doesn't even decide to stick it on the other side. Gets stuck on Brown Dress. Checker having a rough game on the pathing front.
And he's just thinking, okay, I'm safe at windows for a little while. Sanctuary. Nobody can bump into me here, right?
Checker. He's in a weird spot. Not... Well, actually, he only used the one last inspect, so never mind. I was about to say something dumb.
Well, he's got 2 done, and he's got 2 minutes, so he's not in trouble, but he's going to be soon if he doesn't keep moving. Especially getting that seduce going.
And going for the briefcase, I don't think you have time for this right now.
Moves a little quick, by the way. Moved a little fast picking it up. Didn't pause after picking it up.
Oh God! And that's just the icing on the cake right there.
That happened to him both times on Veranda with the bug. You remember he was Revolta last time. He stopped dead and did the wave on Veranda. Same thing.
Yeah. So suddenly, as we step back into the ballroom, Checker's fighting for his life. He needs 2 games to make overtime happen. And
yeah, match point.
For those of you who don't know about overtime, it's the most exciting thing in existence. It's so tense. It's absolutely amazing. It's not standard game type, but it's a little bit complicated. So if it gets to that point, we'll explain it.
Yeah, it's just know that it's absurd in a good/horrifying way. Is the best way I can put it.
Yeah. It's easily the best game type that has ever come out of Spy on the Hill.
Yes. Not that that's always saying that much, because we did some pretty goofy stuff, but that one endures.
Yeah, but this one actually, like, after that happened, it's a game type that got a significant amount of play.
Yes, yeah, it has a place. It's a new way of thinking about the game, so.
Yeah.
Maybe it won't come to that, though.
We shall see. Iceman stepping in to the spiral on Ballroom. Any 4 of 6 with Checker on the sniper. He needs this win. Fighting for his life here. Let's see what he can do in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And again, this is any 4 of 6, and the mission Iceman knocks off this time around is going to be Purloin. Starting things out with a quick time ad. It was a green test.
Yep, and he was not even really visible until the very end of the process. So.
Indeed. So pretty clean green test there.
Yeah. Red gets added, a highlight rather.
That's interesting. Oh, Red gets shot, and that's going to be the game. I think. Oh, that's such a brutal ending. Checker
he checked his watch. You remember it happened before?
Yeah.
Checker benefited from it. Orange Dress checked her watch, and shortly after the time ad, same thing happened here. Red Plaid checked his watch just after Bondo. He counts down, starts noticing it, and that's the end. He catches the time ad, but catches it from the wrong person. And again, even though it's, a big tell, at that point, match point so early, you wait. You gotta wait. Maybe you're gonna tunnel.
Yeah.
Look, there's probably like a 75% chance he's gonna tunnel on him and shoot anyway. But give yourself that chance.
Yeah. Indeed.
But at that point, when you've had so many tough losses, very hard not to be frustrated. You kind of want to just take the shot, as fast as you can. I understand it's a little hard to be patient after a tough night like that, after so many high-stress games.
Absolutely. But if it's the only person you saw who took a watch check, it feels so safe.
Yeah, it feels like I got him. And not only that, but there's some mind game value to pot-shotting someone real quick for something like that. It can be very intimidating as Spy when someone does that to you. You can make you very gun-shy in the former games, so it has benefits. There's an actual strategic reason to take a quick shot.
Yeah.
But at that case, for something like a watch check, which is not a hard tell, I think you have to wait a little bit.
Indeed.
But still, if he did catch the time ad, though, he did, measure the time dilation and all that, and he played some really good games there. He definitely got some bad luck. I think with normal luck, he ekes out a win. And I think with good luck, he wins a little handily with that lead. He definitely gave away a few, and without those, I think he probably wins narrowly. But he also had some bad luck, and he played some really good games where he just made one crucial mistake that he could have won easily. So, huge improvement from Checker, by the way. Huge improvement over the last few weeks. I think it's really actually kind of remarkable how much he's improved in just a few weeks.
Absolutely. Fantastic games there. What an amazing match that was.
Yeah, back and forth. 4-0, 5-1, 9-5, and then at the end, I guess, 13-10?
Yeah.
Or is it 11?
It was, 8-9 at one point, right? It was 8-8 Or 9-9. It was tie game at one point there.
I know.
Right
and
near the
2
end.
spy wins on Gallery 5-6, both in the last seconds.
Insanity.
Really impressive stuff. Job, Checker, and good job, Iceman. Both of them for not giving up when they were down.
Absolutely. So, that's going to be the show. We're going to cut it off here. Thanks a ton for coming out to cast with me, man.
Thanks for having me. I always enjoy it. And thanks to Checker for playing with us small folk.
Absolutely. And thanks to everyone who came out to watch. I did see a lot of new faces out there, which was nice to see. So,
yeah, thanks for stopping in.
A little bit of housekeeping to finish things up. I cast here, twitch.tv/Deboshi, on Tuesdays with Warningtrack, and on Fridays on my own. And then I cast again at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/SpyParty with Crazy Kaylee. We cast a couple of ladder matches every Sunday night there. So if you want to see more ladder sets like this one, that's a great place to get them. Other than that, thanks a ton for coming out, and until next time, this is Deboshi and Warningtrack, signing off.